Boom. We are in the place Saturday morning.
Yes,
Game
sir.
day. Game
Yep.
day. It's time to do it, baby.
War Eagle
Uh
family.
yes, War Eagle, man. We ready for this, man. Uh okay, wait a minute. Before we get into all the talk, of course, I gotta do the preliminaries. We are the War Rapport. This is my man Mike Gittens. You know what I'm saying? My man Mike G in the place. My man Caesar is in the place, and I am your boy Ike Jones. We're in here talking a little Auburn football today. B Will not gonna be able to join us this morning, but maybe he'll jump on during the halftime show. So y'all make sure. Let me get the preliminaries out of the way. Make sure that if you want to stay in touch with what we got going on, we are the War Report on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. We are also streaming live on YouTube. Make sure you click. If you see a video, click like, hit subscribe on there so you know when we're going to go live so you can be right here and chat it up with us. We got the live chat going for those of you who are watching this on the replay. You can come chat with us live right here. But anyway, enough of all of that. Let's talk about a little Auburn football. Auburn versus Georgia. It's going down today. How y'all feeling, man?
Whew. Well, I'll tell you what. This is our season right here.
Yeah.
We I think we've largely been relegated to the role of spoiler for the rest of the season. I saw a graphic today stat that said we've got about a 5% chance to make the playoff. Um, and that's contingent on a lot of stuff happening in front of us today. So I'm just excited to see what maybe we learned from our last home game. Can I think the big question of the day is just can Gus get Bo Nix going? Caesar, what do you think?
Agreed. We just want to see if we protect the football. I don't know how the weather is looking in Auburn, but what I will say is that us protecting the football is going to be critical, and our ability to have sustained drives will be very important in this game. Something I mentioned this week was once we get past the scripted plays, what does Gus do, basically? And that's been kind of the story of this series. I think I read a stat this morning that says like the team that has scored first in this game has lost the past 6 games.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so usually Auburn looks good the first few series. So once we get into the second, third, and fourth quarter, what can we do? So that to me, I agree, Mike G. That's really what it boils down to.
Man, I didn't realize that. I mean, now that I think back about how those games have played out, when we beat Georgia down a couple of years ago at home, Georgia marched straight down the field on their first drive and scored, and it was like, yo, this is about to be a long game. And then they barely scored the remainder of the game. Same thing happened in the SEC championship. We marched down the field first drive and scored, and we was like, yo, we about to give it to them. And then the rest of the game, we looked terrible. So yeah, it's that's interesting. It's definitely an interesting statistic. I didn't realize that had played out the last 6 times though. So that's wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Cool. But yeah, like I don't know what the weather's looking like you said, but we talked about it a little bit last night when we were on our show that the weather is definitely going to be a factor, especially if it starts to rain. I think it's going to slow down some of our ability to get after them on defense, just because we're predicated a lot on our speed and our ability to rally to the ball. And it's gonna come down to whoever is really able to control the field position game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that point. Like I said, what's really I'm going to be looking for here. They made a concerted effort in the last game to really throw the ball more on first down. Gus gave Bo a lot of easy outs, some quick slants, some things that kind of get him going. And I'm looking forward to seeing if giving him more of those throws, he can make those throws to kind of keep us ahead of the chains. Gus let Bo off the hook a lot against Ole Miss. He said that we put him in some bad positions, some third and longs, really trying to protect his freshman quarterback, and put it on coaching. And we're almost 10 games in now, so.
Oh, Mike G's breaking up a little bit. Let me
to progress. If this offense is to progress, he's going to have to just start making the throws that are there, hitting receivers in stride and giving them a chance to make a play after they catch the ball. So against a defense like this, it's just not enough to get the ball there and complete it. He needs to put the ball where the ball needs to be, so that he doesn't get these receivers, killed, hurt, and that we have a chance to make a play. Plays are going to come at a premium. I really believe this is going to be a defensive struggle.
Yeah, it's definitely like the way these defenses have been playing all year. I'd be shocked to see a ton of points get put up. If there are a lot of points, then that likely means that there's going to be a lot of very poor decisions being made. That means turnovers. Okay? If it turns into one of those battles where you're giving somebody a short field, and they're going to be able to put up points pretty easily. Even though red zone defense has been a strength for both of these teams as well. As I mentioned last night, Georgia hasn't given up a rushing touchdown all season. Auburn's been really great in the red zone at limiting opponents to field goals rather than touchdowns. So it's going to be a back and forth struggle, I feel, but it's going to be really about who blinks first on the defensive side and who on the offensive side is giving up the ball, I think. So protect the ball, field goal position, I think will be in good shape.
Yeah, I agree. Special teams.
I'm really interested to hear what Caesar thinks about running back situation today. Listen, DJ Williams, if you ask me, he took advantage of his chance to kind of jump into that number one spot. They're saying that Booby is pretty healthy for this one. Caesar, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen at running back today?
What I think or versus what I want to happen, right? I think that's the real question. I want to see us utilize our depth at running back, and I don't want us to be heavily dependent on one guy to carry the workload for us, right? Booby is not. If he plays or not, I don't think he's 100%, right? So you should have to rely on DJ Williams, who I think has proven himself over the past few weeks. And I think the 1-2 combo of them will help your quarterback, basically. If you can get some good runs and some good production from your running back core, that's going to help Bo Nix out a ton. The pressure is not on him to have to move the ball down the field. He actually becomes a game manager if you're able to run the ball well with those two backs, right? But history has shown that Gus has historically, once he finds a guy he likes, he rides him into the ground, it seems. And so I want to see a running back by committee in terms of seeing Booby Whitlow and DJ Williams out there running. But I don't know what Gus is going to do. If he sticks to his guns and just rides Booby, then we'll just see how healthy Booby really is.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I think the issue that we're seeing is that Booby and is the guy for the they want to run that Wildcat, and we tried it with Harold Joyner last week. He got down there on the 1-inch line and fumbled the ball.
Right.
So hopefully if he can cure his ball security issues, we won't have that problem this game, and we'll be able to have that. I know Gus likes to run that power football down towards the goal line with the Wildcat. It'd be nice if we had, I don't know, a quarterback who could run it and come in the game. But,
Gatewood.
No, yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice, but apparently that's not a real thing anymore. But, hopefully if Whitlow's not able to run that, I don't see that being a DJ thing. I think that Joyner's got to be the guy of the backs that we have that will be able to run that. He just needs to secure the ball security, because he literally was about to score in that play. Totally different game if he doesn't fumble that ball right there. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with our ability to get in there and rotate those running backs. That's been an issue under Gus Malzahn for years, is he just runs those guys into the ground, and at the end of the game, they're gassed. The other issue, I think we talked about this on another show with DJ, is that he clearly doesn't trust him in pass protection. because when it's a third down and long situation, he's not in the game. They're going to put somebody else back there. So pass protection is an issue, has been an issue. I'm assuming for him for a minute. He's either not picking it up or he's not physical enough at the point of attack to get those guys out of the blitzing lane or whatever it is, chipping, whatever they got to do on the edges. So we'll see how that goes.
Also, too, we got to get him to where he is a reliable pass blocker, because oftentimes I can tell what Auburn is going to do based on personnel.
Yeah.
Right. And so oftentimes we're giving it away that unless it's play action, we're telling the defense that, hey, we're running the ball if DJ's out there. If you see Malik Miller out there, we're passing. Yeah. Right. So we've got to get him up to speed to where we can utilize our entire playbook when he's on the field. Right. He's very productive when we're running the ball, but we only have half the playbook or a portion of the playbook we can actually utilize because of what he can do.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of pass catcher he is, so I don't know whether or not it's an option to throw him out there in a route or what. That's the one. I think that's the one good thing about Harold Joyner. I know he can literally do all of those things. I know he can catch the ball. I know he can run the ball. I know he can block. But the issue with him has been ball security. In his limited time on the field, he's been a little loose with the ball. So he's got to cure that in order to be able to get more reps out there. And I think the opportunity is right there for him to get a lot of reps this game, especially if Whitlow's not going to be playing. If Whitlow's not going to be in there, throw Joyner in there and see what he can do. But he's got to hold on to the ball. Like this isn't the game. This ain't the game, bro, to be out there tripping, being loose with football.
Right.
You could do that last week against Ole Miss and we can make up for it. Georgia's not the one to play around with. That defense is too good to just give them gifts.
Right. I agree. And something I also alluded to was we have to help the offense out. If your offense is struggling, you have to help them out in other phases of the game, right?
I think you're about to mention special teams.
Right. Like we can't have Nick starting drives at his own 10, right? His own 15. Like we can't ask them to go the length of the field given what we know 9 games into the season about this team, right? So it's important for when we get down in the scoring position, we got to hit those field goals. When we have to punt the ball, we got to cover.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to do things to help the offense instead of put them in a hole knowing they're struggling.
Yeah, our punt coverage has been like kind of hit or miss this year. Like some games it'll be good, and then every now and then they'll just have a lapse on that. And so as Mike says, I don't really like going out here and blaming kids for stuff. But Aaron Sipos has not been great at punter. I mean, he's been good at catching some errant snaps, but as far as getting good distance on kicks and putting our special teams in a position to be able to cover well, he hasn't been doing a wonderful job. Like the kids, he either is not kicking very much distance or he's not getting much hang time. Like he's not really, there's no combination of the two things out there. So it's like he's putting our coverage unit in a pretty bad position a lot of times. But then, those guys gotta get somebody on the ground. Like that's not an excuse. A poor kick is not an excuse to cover poorly. So we got to do a better job on that of flipping the field when we can. Like you said, sustaining a few drives. You sustain a couple of drives and you get down in there to the, if you are backed up, get a couple of first downs, even if you can't score. So you are an opportunity to flip the field on the possession is going to be important for us. And then, like you said, field goals, man. Like I'm tired of seeing us kick 40-something yard field goals. Like, the kids got the leg to do it, but the accuracy hasn't been there. And so that puts us in a bad position field position wise as well. If we're going to be taking 46-yard field goals and we're going to give them great position on a missed kick. So we just got to do a better job overall in the field position game today.
And you got to build that kid's confidence.
Get them some easy ones.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You got to give them some easy ones. And if it's a 40-something yarder, let's go for it. You're at home. It's Georgia. Like, let's go for it. Let's roll the dice and see what we can do there. You want him to build his confidence. And I think he's gotten his start kicking 50-yarders, 48-yarders, 47-yarders. And that's not ideal for a young kicker. So, they have to make better decisions in special teams as well as execution.
Yeah, Mike was mentioned earlier about Gus trying to bail out the quarterback or not want to throw his quarterback under the bus. There were instances where, a false start backed us up more than we should have been. But on I'd say, and I'd have to go back and look at the film and see a lot of those situations where there were false starts, where there were situations where we got backed up. It was right after a poor throw, like first or second down, we had a poor throw, and then third down, we get a penalty. And so, or second down, we get a penalty, and that backs us up even more. You complete that ball on first down, then, we won't have to be in that situation. Right. So it's like we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot in a litany of different ways. And I get wanting to take some pressure off of Bo Nix, but at the same time, he's got to come out there and give those guys who are working to get open an opportunity. And sometimes they're not even getting an opportunity just because the ball's not placed where it even makes sense. So that there's a couple of different issues that we've got to solve on the offensive side of that.
With the offensive line, I don't want to see any false starts at all. Yeah. Because those false starts that occurred, we were on the road. Okay, yeah. You can blame that on crowd noise, but you're at home now. That's inexcusable. Y'all are seniors. I don't want to see any mental lapses along the offensive line.
Exactly. Mike, you back in here now, man. What you got?
Listen, just kind of catching up on what you guys were talking about. I feel like one of the offensive keys today is going to be Anthony Schwartz. I've been saying it all season. When we're able to get the ball into his hands, this offense definitely goes. Him not getting the ball is very symptomatic of poor offensive play for us. Yeah. So today, we've got to make some room for him to kind of catch the ball and make plays. The jet sweep doesn't work. We kind of mentioned it last night. We talked about wide receiver play, and these receivers have to block better on the edge for guys like Schwartz and Stove to get loose. So that'll be a key that I'm looking for today as well, too. Can they get the ball to the playmakers? Seth Williams, Anthony Schwartz, Eli Stove, these guys are all great in the open field. If you give them space and you hit them in stride, they'll get the yards. They don't fumble. They secure the ball. Unlike our running backs. Right. So we'll see if he's got a game plan for that today. I really think that's going to be a key to the game.
How do you think he goes about? So you're basically saying bubble screens. We've pretty much ruled out the jet sweep, and against Georgia, you don't want to run left, east, or west anyway. So you're saying bubble screens, and that's going to be the primary way we get the ball to Schwartz.
Actually, I'm thinking these guys show that they can catch the ball on a 3-step drop and a quick slam. Okay. These receivers can run every route. I actually don't want to see a whole lot of throwing the ball lateral to the line of scrimmage. I'm sick of that. Now, we see that a lot against a team like Georgia, who's got the defense to set the edge, like to really just blow up you trying to set the edge. It's just not going to work. I don't think that's a successful game plan today. Maybe 1, 2. I'd like to see less than 5 plays like that today. Let's move the ball forward. Let's get the ball out of Bo's hands. Let's give him some easy reads, and let's give these receivers a chance to make a play.
Yeah, you definitely have to run it a few times to keep them honest, to make them have to play sideline to sideline. But like you say, it doesn't need to be the majority of what your throws are. Don't need to be little quick look out to the outside. Unless you got numbers out there. But again, the issue has been, even when we've had numbers on the outside, even if it's a 2x2 or even a 2x1, where you've got, the slot receivers not covered up because he's going to get picked up by, some nickel or the slot corner who's playing off coverage, that outside receiver is not doing a great job of securing that block. So when you're running that, it doesn't really matter because it's not getting very much positive yardage. So you've got to take advantage of it in other ways, some rubs, something to give you guys a little bit more space, and hopefully Bo Nix the confidence to toss it in there on a quick throw, and then let the guy get upfield. You make a good, accurate throw on time and let him get upfield and see what he can do to get you some additional yardage. And I think that's what this offense has been missing. They tried to do it more against Ole Miss. So this is the thing I will give absolute credit to, is they wanted to, against Ole Miss, establish the fact that we can have a short passing game. The issue is you can run the routes, you can call the play. You got to hit the guy when he's open.
In the right place.
Today there's been a lot said about Gus Malzahn's play calling.
Yeah.
And fellas, I'm kind of in a place where I'm at a loss for words with this play calling. What have we heard about this offense, since he's been running it at Auburn? It's there's a lot of misdirection, and it's kind of predicated on being able to fool the defense. I don't think we're going to be able to fool this defense because Bo Nix is not a serious threat to run the ball. He's athletic, and he can get by you in the open field, but they're not running him like that.
Right.
They're not running him like they did Nick Marshall and Cam. That's not something that the defense respects. If there's an option play, I'm taking the running back every time, and I'm making Bo Nix beat me with his legs. I think if I'm Georgia, if I'm Kirby Smart, I can accept that today. I really can. They're going to aim to stop the run, and they're going to make him throw the ball. They've got the weapons on defense to do that. So this is not we're going to line up and beat them. Their defense is, for all intents and purposes, every bit as good as our defense. So, what is going to be the game plan for giving him some easy throws? Getting the, like I said, key to the game, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, giving him a chance, 3-step drop, good mechanics and fundamentals. During the Arkansas game, when he had one of his best games of the season, he threw some long touchdown passes, but his mechanics were terrible. He threw one ball to Anthony Schwartz sideways off his back foot with nobody around him. I didn't understand it. And I go back to coaching. Set your feet, square your shoulders, and deliver that ball like an SEC quarterback. That's what I'm looking for today.
Yeah. Like you said, I think it's going to be predicated on schemes, not gimmicks, but schemes. Like, we're going to have to scheme well and put us in a position to really execute on the things that Georgia doesn't do well, which I think, it's hard to say what Georgia doesn't do well this year on defense because they've been a great defense. But clearly the way to beat them has been the quarterback. If you've got a quarterback who can make them make the reads and understand where the open guys are going to be, that's been the success formula. The only teams that have moved the ball on them this year have been teams that have been able to throw the ball effectively. Because running it, they're not scared of nobody's run offense yet this year.
Right.
No, they've given up 0 rushing touchdowns on the year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're holding teams to an average of less than 100 a year this year on the ground. So
the game on the ground is what they're allowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be an ugly. I think overall it's going to be an ugly game.
And I will take an ugly win. I really will. I'm going to get on here afterwards and I'm going to complain about it, but I will take an ugly W. Like, what I don't want to see is after the game getting on here talking about an ugly loss, like where we scored, 3 points the entire game and they won 3-10 or some stupid crap like that.
Right. Well, when I say ugly, like, you think about the South Carolina Georgia game.
Yeah.
That was an ugly game.
Yeah.
Right. So the key is, and you factor the weather into it, you're going to have to force Georgia force them into error, basically, to where they start sabotaging themselves, in a sense, and it almost levels the playing field in terms of whatever issues we got going on, right? And so, if you can create chaos in this game, that bodes well for us, and we got the defense to do that.
Oh, that takes me back to something that we talked about on last night's broadcast. The linebacker play. We have gotten some very opportunistic plays from that defensive squad this year. Again, I talked about it last night. Oregon's driving, fumble recovery by Big Cat Bryant. When he ran it all the way down the field, and when he didn't get it in the end zone, my heart dropped into my stomach. He came up 2 yards short, and I said to myself, we're going to kick a field goal on this drive. We're getting 3 or nothing, because that's how inept this offense has been all year long. We saw it again in another game where Derek Brown scooped one up and tripped over nothing and fell at the 50-yard line.
Right.
And, in my head, I'm just thinking, oh, my goodness. I think that was against LSU, actually. Man, if he had scored.
That was Florida.
You're right. Oh, was it Florida?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if he had scored, we win that game, or it changes the tide. So I'm really hoping to see the defense has been. It goes without saying that the defense has been helping this offense all year.
Yeah.
Right. They might need to help them with points today.
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to see a defensive score today. Like, I want to see them actually finish the deal on one of these takeaways where we almost score. Like, I was hoping on the one with not Big Cat, because the one with Derek Brown, that he would flip it to somebody at the last minute. No, it was the Big Cat one, because he's the one that got caught. Derek Brown, he tripped over nothing, so he should have just given the ball to because he had a convoy of people around him too. It's like he was going to score.
Painful.
And then he just fell over the air. I was like,
it amazes me. No big guy ever thinks of that. Let me lateral it to one of my DBs.
Yeah.
Who can carry me? Who can carry the ball to the end zone?
Oh, who got ball carrying skills?
Yeah.
Right.
They never think about it.
Oh man. Yeah. I think a defensive score is going to be the key to this too on defense for us. If there are a couple things that I think happened if they happen today. I know we'll probably get into predictions later. I'm going to refrain from making a prediction and say what I said in an earlier broadcast and just say, if this happens, this will happen. Today, I think if Bo Nix throws for 250 yards and 2 TDs on less than 30 passes, we win.
Yeah, that's a super efficient game. That's probably the most efficient game he would have had all season if that's the case. Either that, or he's got a lot of short field to work with.
Right.
If he throws the ball 35 times, we lose. We lose.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, I tend to agree with you, considering the way he's performed so far in the season. If he's throwing 35 times and he's hitting 25 or more of those, then yeah, we probably can win the game. But that has not been the case so far.
Yeah. We're a little far out for Christmas, so I'm not hoping for that. It's a little too far for Christmas to be asking for those kind of gifts.
Listen,
I just want the kid to throw for 250, right? And not make any protect the ball. Don't make any untimely turnovers. He just needs to be a game manager at this point.
That's it. That's all we need him to do is manage it.
Yeah, we don't need a hero, man. We don't need Superman. We just need a game manager. We need Robin. No Batman. Just be Robin. We're good.
Yeah, I guess my thing, Mike, yes, your points are valid. I'm just looking at that Georgia defense, who are very stingy when it comes to the ground game. Does that force Malzahn's hand in making Nick's pass more than normal? Right? Because typically in this offense, your quarterback is throwing no more than 25 times a game. But he doesn't have to, because you're rushing for over 200 yards, right? The offense is doing what it's supposed to do in terms of dictating the line of scrimmage and moving the defense off the point of attack. If we don't do that, is Bo Nix having to throw the ball more? And does it really come down to our ability to run the ball versus Georgia's ability to stop it?
In response to that, what I'm telling you is that he's going to have to throw the ball more because his skill set dictates that he's going to have to throw the ball more, right? We're not going to run him 15, 20 times a game.
You can't.
And this offensive line is not line up and blow the defensive line off the ball. I don't think we're going to blow this defensive line off the ball. So for this to work in a non-traditional sense, he's going to have to make them back up by completing throws.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the strategy of throwing on first down more. He's just got to make the throws. The throws were there for him versus Ole Miss, you know. And when you look at the stats, it kind of looks like he had an okay game. But when I look back at it, I'm thinking the throws, some of the throws he missed were really, really easy throws. So, you know, fellas, I'm just at a point. This is a 19-year-old freshman, and I get it. He's played in some big games. They've won. But if you're sitting here telling me that we've won any of the games that we've won because of Bo Nix, I'm not buying it, right? The Oregon game,
I was about to say,
touchdown
I can give him the Oregon game if we want to attribute a bad defensive lapse on Bo Nix having the guts to make that throw. But that's about the only game I think I will give because of Bo Nix, because I don't know that, that was a great catch by Seth, but he had to have the guts to pull the trigger on that throw, even though it wasn't the greatest of throws. So I can give him that one. But outside of that, yeah, you're right. Honestly, the defense actually is really what saved us that game. They played well enough to keep us in it, to give us that opportunity.
I disagree with you, Isaac, because it was a bad throw.
I concede it. It was a terrible throw. Both of those touchdown throws, bad throws.
The first touchdown pass to Eli Stowe was a bad throw, where the receiver made a great adjustment. Again, the game-winning pass to Seth Williams, he didn't. That wasn't by design. He made a great adjustment. Used his body to shield the defender and made sure that he got in the end zone. On that play, it was very risky. It worked out. So he got bailed out on that. And today, if you make that throw against Georgia today, we're in trouble. So stress it. It's not just about completing passes. It's about how he's completing passes. And I'm putting this all on coaching. They had a bye week. And, after this bye week, coming into this, I just want to see some improvement. I want to see some good fundamentals. If he makes a good pass that gets picked, but because it was a great play by the defense, I can accept that. But these easy throws that he's missing feel like interceptions, right? The easy dump off pass that he's throwing at the receiver's feet, feel like turnovers in this offense. So I'm just looking for some improvement, some marginal improvement here. And he doesn't have to turn into a Heisman Trophy candidate today to win this game.
No,
he doesn't. Agree.
He just needs to be average. Yeah. My man Keontae has just chatted in. Hold on, I want to get this in here. He said the offensive line has to get pushed to get the run game going. Also got to come out here and hit him in the mouth like we did against Texas A&M. I don't disagree with that, man. If we can go out there and hit them in the mouth early, that would be wonderful. I just don't know that Georgia's the defense to do that against. Like Texas A&M looked like they were stout against the run, and we actually played big boy football against Texas A&M.
They got exposed.
Yeah,
they got exposed.
And so now if we can come out here and run the ball effectively like no other team has been able to do, let's be honest about a couple of things though with Georgia. Can we, we've been given a ton of flack to our offense, and we've been given a ton of praise to Georgia. Georgia has literally had no challenge yet this year. The one team that challenged them effectively was South Carolina, and they lost. Like, they haven't been challenged by anybody yet this year. The Florida them? Who?
You don't think Notre Dame challenged them?
Notre Dame, okay, and they almost lost that game.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
So,
but they won it.
They did win it. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from a win. I'm saying that Georgia's not invincible. Is my point of that. Is that they're going to be on the road, first true road challenge, like hostile environment against a defense that's actually capable of beating them up just as bad as their defense is able to beat somebody else up. So we have a puncher's chance in this game, is all I'm saying.
In Keontae's statement about the offensive line, Keontae, if you're still watching, when has our offensive line done that at all this year? Right.
I mean, he's citing the Texas A&M game
against lesser opponents. Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, they they haven't really been able to do that against the top tier opponents that we face. So expecting that today against this defense, I think maybe
I would actually
argue.
I'd argue that we were able to do it a little bit against Florida. It was just the fact that we couldn't sustain it for the entirety of the game. There were spots within that game, within the Florida game, where the run game looked good. And then, turnovers happen, and that's actually been the bigger issue, is not that the offensive line has been inept. It's been inconsistent. And then once we actually do get it going, the running backs are coughing up the football. Like, you think about the turnovers that we've had from fumbles, the vast majority of them have been on positive yardage plays. It wasn't like somebody got hit in the backfield, somebody was like on a sweep, or like we're like 2-3 yards beyond or 15 yards downfield fumbling the ball. Like, so the offensive line did their job. The guy who's toting the rock gets past the line and then he coughs up the ball. So it's like we are basically in whatever position we're putting ourselves in, deciding we don't want to win games for some reason on offense, because missed throws, turnovers, false starts, like all of those things, like of the things that we've had that have been issues, it hasn't been drop balls this year.
True.
So against Ole Miss, but I agree with you.
Yeah, but that's not the reason we lost that game. Well, won the game, but didn't blow them out.
Yeah, they didn't help Bo Nix a whole lot in that game.
They probably were surprised the ball. Never mind, I don't want to get to it.
They were surprised the ball made it to them.
Like, what?
They catch it.
They were prepared to adjust for the ball, and it came right at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's like, wait a minute, my hands, I'm not used to it being right here. Wait, what's going on?
Caesar, since we're on the topic of running backs today, I'm wondering, do you think, we've talked a lot about coaching.
Yeah,
we talked a lot about coaching.
My man Tez is back. He said they actually made changes to the O-line after the LSU game, took Caleb Kim out at center. So Keon Tez said
that was a key. Now that's a good point.
They did do that.
Tez, that was a good point. Yes. And we saw marginal improvement at that position as a result of that.
Yeah.
That is true.
They did make some adjustments, for sure. And he graded out well after that change as well, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I think we've got a shot here at possessing the ball. We just need to avoid the disastrous turnovers. Play the field position game. I honestly don't want to see us kicking 48-yard field goals today. I would honestly rather just get Siposs in there and with one of them little weak leg punts and kick the ball 30 yards and just cover. Man, golly, I'm sorry. I don't like talking about kicking. Man, Siposs has got the weakest leg ever, man. Like, can we recruit a punter in the off season, please?
Yeah, punting for us is like field goal kicking for Bama.
For sure. We've had some terrible punters.
Yeah, that has not been a strong suit of ours. But no, I think to his point, to Ted's point, being able to move the ball will be key, but it sounds like there's going to have to be great execution in most phases of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Nix is going to have to put the ball where it needs to be and give the receivers chances to make plays after the catch. And we can't shoot ourselves in the foot with turnovers and penalties, basically. Right. And that we've seen that kill drives, or a combination of all three of those kill drives. And the O-line is doing their part. So we just have to play a clean game, basically, offense.
Snaps in that game. I don't know if you guys remember some low snaps, one right over Bo's head. Like, again, playing a clean game is going to be key. You got to make it easy on this quarterback. So, making him have to reach up for a high snap or reach down for a low snap with his accuracy issues is a disaster right now. So, if you're giving him quick throws, that happened on a couple of those incomplete passes that he had last week. They were supposed to be quick throws, but because he had to adjust to catch the snap, everything fell out of sync. So I'll be interested to see, again, coaching. Did they work on that? That had to stand out on film, and for you guys that don't know, after a game, they usually get Sundays off. They spend Mondays in film review, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're practicing and getting ready for the next week's game. So in Monday film review, I'm just wondering, like, that had to stand out, and hopefully they coached that out.
Yeah.
Looks like we got another comment here.
Yeah, my man Keontae said the only thing he's worried about is Georgia, that they haven't allowed a rushing touchdown. I replied back in the chat and was just like, yeah, we mentioned that earlier. And I really want us to break that streak today. Like, I want us to be the first one to give them that rushing touchdown on the year. If we could do that early in the game specifically, I think, we're going to put a little fear in them. We're going to make them realize that this is going to be, they're going to have to strap up and play ball today.
Right.
Double stat, like 0 rushing touchdowns on the year.
Yeah.
We've been struggling from the 1 yard line too.
Yeah, and that's one of those things.
Why
missing Boobie Whitlow is going to be important for us if he's not able to go. Man, Joyner, just hold on to the ball, fam. Like, I really have I got a lot of faith in my boy. I just need him to come on through and get us one of those.
Guy.
Yeah, man.
Just who you want down there.
Just give me one, son. Just give me one of those wildcat situations. Make a guy regret the fact that he tried to stand you up on the 1 yard line, and let's go ahead and get this dub today. You know what I'm saying?
You guys think, is there a reason we don't put Anthony Schwartz back on kickoff returns? Like, is there a reason we don't put the fastest guy in college football back on kickoff returns?
I don't know the answer to that. I question a lot about our kick return strategy. I think I mentioned another time, like, I don't get why we don't have Matthew Hill back there returning kicks. He's just an elusive guy, a lot of top end speed. I don't know. The one time I think we put Schwartz back there, they were trying to run that fake situation where Tut was lined up and then he ran to the back to go field it. But then they ended up being like a penalty or a timeout or something. But then they ran it again for whatever reason. And I was like, yo, why did you even run that again? Like, they just saw you do this 30 seconds ago on the last play and it didn't. I was like, man, whoever called that should be fired. just get this guy out of here.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is just because it seems like we're struggling to get the ball into Schwartz's hands. And so any chance that you give the fastest guy in college football a chance to touch the ball, it might be a game changer for us. So we'll see if they come up with anything creative there on special teams to kind of help. Points are going to come at a premium. I think that nobody gets to 21 points in this game, personally. I don't see us scoring more than 21 in this one. So we're going to have to take advantage. Carlson's going to have to make some kicks. To Caesar's point, I don't want to see any more 49-yard field goals. Hopefully we can get him inside 40 yards on every attempt he has today.
Yep. If he can get it in a reasonable distance, I have a lot more confidence. He got the leg strength. Leg strength is not his issue. It's definitely been accuracy all season, but it's getting there. It's just not getting to the right place.
They've not been easy kicks. They're not giving them easy kicks, though.
Nah. I'm saying what my point is that the reason why they're kicking him is because they know he has the leg strength to get it there. It's not one of those things where it's landing on the goal line or 2 yards short. It's landing 5 yards to the left or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't think someone told Malzahn that, hey, this is Carlson's younger brother. This is not Carlson you remember, who can make it from anywhere in the field, right? Yeah. So the way he's calling plays, he's just acting as though, oh, we got it, and he's a young kicker, he's learning. So
yeah, if it comes down to field goal kickers, that's another one where I think Georgia might have a slight advantage. Even though Blankenship don't miss a lot, but he definitely missed a crucial one in the loss that they had. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's get final thoughts out here, man. Anybody want to give any score predictions on this one right here? I know you already said you think it's going to be under 21, but do you want to put a score out there on it?
Floor is yours, Mike.
I think that the game is going to be won or lost about 15-18. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of offense there. I hope we're on the winning side. I hope we're 18 and they're 15. But at this point, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the game plan. And that's because in these big games, these top 10 matchups, right, we're going into our fourth or fifth one of the year. Bo Nix has a combined quarterback rating in these games of 29. So, he's not playing his biggest and best against the biggest and best.
Right.
So if he has a breakout game, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope he has his best game of the year today. But I'm not expecting it based on recent history. So 15-18.
I'm going to call 16-10 Auburn.
Okay. Yeah. Giving up a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah.
On defense. All right.
I think we keep them out of the end zone a lot. They get to kick field goals. I'm going 16-17 Auburn.
Sure. I remember a 16-17 game we played one time. We won that one.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see what happens. We are a couple of hours from kickoff now, and we'll be back. We're going to do a little quick halftime update for you guys, so y'all tune back in with us at halftime. Hopefully, we'll be in a good mood when we talk to you guys the next time at halftime.
Hey, tell them where they can find us, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You all can always come and check us out on all of our social media. We are the War Rapport on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. Also, we got the Facebook page out there. We might be starting a Facebook fan group soon, so y'all be looking out for that. Otherwise, if you are on YouTube right now, make sure you click like and subscribe on the YouTube page. Share it with anybody else who you know is an Auburn fan or somebody who's a Georgia fan who wants to just get on here and pretend like Georgia's going to beat us today, whatever. I'm good with that. But yeah, we're going to continue to give you guys content, and we will see you guys soon at halftime.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.